everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do our fourth set of alternatives for the September 2025 paper pumpkin kit called Fall for Toile. And here are the 9 cards that you could have made had you done them as intended. But we're going to change things up a little bit, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with a pretty easy one here. So let's see, get my pieces out. We've got a card base made out of early espresso. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then again at 2 1/8. So we basically just scored it here and then scored it halfway on the front. So let me just give those good burnish here so we can get them to lay flat. Okay, so there's that. Now we've got a piece of white that's going to go on the inside, and it is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and we've also got half of one of the card bases out of the kit, this like chocolate brown checked here. This is also going to go on the inside of our card. I've got a piece of one of the other card bases that is, again, 2 7/8 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go on our outside. And then we've got a circle that was in the kit, a leaf that was in a kit, and a circle that I cut out of a Spotlight on Nature die. So let's go ahead and see where we want to start here. Let's get this piece down since it's our biggest piece. So I'm just going to use a little bit of seal here, and we will get it, I'm just going to put it down right here. Just centered up like that. And then this white piece is going to go in here. So this is going to be where we can put a sentiment, and you could write a, sign it. And it's going to get covered up by our little fold here. So we're going to stamp on that, and we're going to stamp on this piece. This is going to go on the outside, so we can get that put down. Again, using a little bit of seal. And I just want this, well, right side up for starters. And we'll just kind of try to center this and line it up so that it looks, even with the top and the bottom of our brown piece here. So that looks pretty good there. Now, I think we can go ahead and do our stamping before we get the rest of this together. So, I'm going to use Early Espresso ink. And on the outside, I'm going to do, let's see, here, not that one. We're going to do this one. We're going to do Wishing You the Happiest of Days, which is a stamp that came in the kit. So I'm just going to ink that up and get that put down here in our circle. Just like that. And then on the inside, we're going to do, we need something kind of tiny since we don't have a lot of space. So I've got a little stamp here that I think ought to just fit, and it will. This came actually from last year's September paper pumpkin kit. And this was a stamp, and I haven't used this one yet, so I'm going to go ahead and season that up. It says, Sending Autumn Wishes Your Way. And I needed this just because I needed something kind of tiny to fit on our little piece of cardstock here. So I thought this would work. So I'm just going to put this at the top. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Good thing there are 2 sides to every piece of paper, huh? Let me just see if I can get a better view. Hopefully we got it this time. Okay, that works. Sending Autumn Wishes Your Way. And then I've also got a little leaf piece that was in that same September kit from last year. And we are going to, we're going to do something here. Let's see. I'm just going to test this out because I didn't do that, so I'm not overly sure what this looks like. So let's stamp this up and see what we got here. Okay, there you go. That works. It's just a pretty leaf. So I'm just going to put one of these kind of down here at the bottom of our inside. So just like that. Okay, perfect. So we're going to put the ink away for the moment, and we will go ahead and get this put on the inside. So we're going to just put this right over here on the left hand edge, just like that. Okay, so it gets covered up. And then this piece is going to go inside of our Spotlight on Nature circle here. So we're going to put that down like this. Okay, and then this we're going to pop up, I think, with some dimensionals. So let me grab those. Now, when this goes on here, we're only going to be able to put our dimensionals on about half of this circle, so the left-hand side. So I'm just going to kind of use my finger to help me know where not to put adhesive past. So we'll just get a few of these on here. And we'll get our backs off. Alright, now I'm going to center this top to bottom. Something just kind of like that. And let's just make sure. Okay, we need to move it over just a tad. I don't want that dimensional showing. So let's move it to about right there. And we'll check one more time. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to push that down. Now, we've got our little leafy piece here that I'm going to use just a little bit of liquid glue on. And we're going to just put it, let's see, kind of right down here at the bottom. So just like that. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now, last thing we need is some bling. And I've got some more of those pecan pie gems here. So let's see if we can get a couple of these. I'm going to put one here. There. And another one over here. There we go. So there's our first card. Very cute. So that was our easy one. We'll put that one to the side now, and let's get our other one out. And not that the second one is hard. Don't misunderstand me. They're both kind of easy today. So I've got Early Espresso, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give it a good burnish. Got a piece of vanilla, 5 by 4 1/4 for the inside. Got another piece of vanilla for the first layer on the front that is 3 3/4 by 5, and that's going to go here. So let's go ahead and get this down first, and then we will work on our layering on the front. Okay, so I'm going to open this up just so I can make sure I'm centering it best that I can. So kind of like that. Okay, next thing we've got a circle that was in the kit. We've got a couple leafy bits. And then I've got a piece of one of the linen card bases. And this is, let's see, looks like about 1¼ inches wide. And we're going to dovetail the bottom of this. And this is part of the other card base that's 1 inch wide. So I want to dovetail both of these. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to make a slit just right in the middle. And then on each side, I'm going to start at the corner and go up to that slit. Just like that. Just a little bit more so we can get that to come off of there. There we go. Okay, so there's our banner for that. And now we want to banner this one. So again, I'm going to do the same process. Little slit in the middle. And then from each corner up to the top of the slit. And that gets us one more snip. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now let's lay this out. Get our leaves out of the way and this. So I kind of want to put this, except that's entirely too long. So I'm going to just take it and snip a bit off the top here. So I want something about like that. And then, let's see, move it down just a little bit. We're going to overlay them. Lay them on top of each other, kind of. So I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and get these pieces down. So I'm just going to put this one just like right there. And then we'll do this one. We're going to say right about there. So just slightly overlapping the linen piece. Okay, so there's that. Now, I'm going to put our leaves here in the middle. And our little foiled leafy bit here. So let's just use a little bit of liquid glue on this. And on this one. So I'm going to put this one down first. Just kind of center that right across our banner pieces. And then I'm going to take this and just kind of slide that right in up here at the top. Just like that. Works. Okay, now let's do our stamping. So on the front of this one, I'm going to do a sentiment that I took out of last year's paper pumpkin kit. It says, thinking of you. And then on the inside, we'll do, we can do just the opposite. We'll do the wishing you the happiest of days. We'll put on the inside of our card this time. So let's get a block for our little front sentiment here. Again, we're going to use Early Espresso. It seems to be the color of choice today. So I'm just going to ink this up. And since I haven't used this stamp yet, I'm just going to do a practice one. Just to make sure that I'm getting a good crisp image. Looks like we're good. So since I'm putting it on this circle that, you know, I can't replace, I wanted to make sure that I'm getting a good crisp stamp. So there's our thinking of you. And on the inside, we're going to put this wishing you the happiest of days. I'm just going to get hopefully centered on that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put the ink away. And let's finish this up. So we'll get this on the inside. Okay, and we'll put that down just like that. And then this, I think I'm going to pop up on some dimensionals just to give it a little bit of interest. So we'll get a couple of these on here. Yep, the back's off. Okay, and then we'll just center this right here. Just like that. Okay. Bling. So we're going to keep working through these pecan pie gems because I've had them forever and I would like to use them up. So we're just going to keep going since they go so good with the colors of the colors that are in this kit. So we'll put, okay, oh, it didn't come out to play. Like, where did it go? Oh my goodness. We'll do another little one down here. And there we go. Too cute. All right, so here are our 2 cards from today. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back in a few days with another one. So have a crafty day. Bye.